Tonight, on what is probably going to be a shorter Mac to the Future show than usual because I have no one here to bounce anything off of. Warren is off at home plate at Yankee Stadium, so he can't be on. Perfectly understandable. And but the stories we have for tonight, Netflix doesn't want to pay the Apple tax. Back to the Mac appears to be dead. Apple Store thieves temporarily frozen by customers. That didn't come out right, but you'll get it in a second. And will the Mac Mini finally be updated? Tonight on the Mac to the Future show. Yeah. Okay, here we are. We are rolling. And why isn't that working? Oh, I know why. I have to go like this and then like that, and then that'll show up. That's how that works. Thank you all so very, very much for being here tonight. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. I was just really kidding about the thing with Warren. I don't expect him to give up his Wednesday nights to do this show when he has something that's obviously more fun to do. Obviously. I need something stronger than water, I think, sometimes. Anyway, a couple of things I am trying tonight. If you happen to be on a little while ago, you may have seen it. I'm going to go ahead and hit it here. It is Facebook stuff, sort of. You can kind of hit the let's see, I need to reset these. How do I do that? Isn't this fun how you think you have something ready to go and then you don't? And I'm sure there is a way to reset. How do you do that? Isn't this great? Isn't this just so fascinating? All right, I'm just going to leave it right the way it is. All right, stories tonight. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Hello, Frank. Hello, Eddie Perez. Is this the same Eddie Perez that is friends with a particular son of mine, or is this a completely different Eddie Perez? I don't know. Today, besides being such a special day because it is the Mac to the Future Go livecast, is also my 26th wedding anniversary. And instead of spending time with my lovely wife, I am here talking to all of you in Facebook land. So what does that tell you right there? Fun fact, this is the first time in a really, really long time that I forgot my wedding anniversary. I know the trope is, the man forgets the wedding anniversary and the last minute he's bringing flowers or he's buying candy or doing something to try to convince the wife that he didn't forget his wedding anniversary. But in this case, there was no way around it. And the weird thing is, I'm usually the one that remembers. My wife, year after year, she's just so busy with everything else that she's doing that it'll be like, oh, that's right, today is our wedding anniversary when I bring it up. Now, last year for our wedding anniversary, we went to see an eclipse. No eclipse this year. Of course, the 26th anniversary isn't nearly as exciting or as momentous as the 25th. So we'll probably have to wait until the 30th before they'll be like, hey, we made it to 30. Hooray. That kind of thing. Yeah, Frank, I'm still alive. I am still alive. Only because I'm the one that usually remembers and she's the one that usually forgets. So let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff that I found interesting in Mac stuff for this week. Am I still on? What is going on here? Okay. No, I am still on. There's something very odd going on with, yeah, Marcus, it's not showing up here. Go on over, if you go over to the Mac to the Future side, that seems to be working there, but it's not working on the regular page. That is so odd. Is it something I've done that was bad? Everything seems to be good. Oh, that is so weird. Why is it frozen? You know, I had this problem a couple of weeks ago where it just seemed to manually freeze. Now, if I have it select, okay. I don't know. You know what? For some reason, Facebook is weird, and I don't know if if this program is weird with Facebook or what. But I'm going to get on with what's going on. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Okay. Netflix says no to iOS payment. Yes, this is a story that's out of. I need to get rid of that. That's out of Mac Rumors. And apparently Netflix in 33 countries, though not yet in the US or the UK, is making it impossible to renew your subscription to their service through the iOS App Store. They've also made similar moves in regards to the Google's Play Store. Currently, Apple gets 30% for the first year subscription and 15% for each year after. If your subscription expires, Netflix is hoping that customers will go to their website to renew instead of through Apple's store. Now, we all know what this is about. This is about Netflix not wanting to pay 15% of their subscription rate to Apple for access to Apple's services. Now, normally I would, I'm not really sure how I feel about this for a couple reasons. Number one, all of the payment services, if you do it through Apple, is handled by Apple. So credit card processing, they're the ones that are taking the risk if it's a bad credit card or for whatever reason the money doesn't go through. They're the ones that are out however much is lost in a transaction like that, not Netflix. But on the other hand, 15% for each year does seem a little steep, especially when you're trying to build up a service that hopefully will make you a lot more money in the future. I'm talking about Apple, of course. Something I talked about on the last mymac.com podcast was that Apple is in kind of a unique position as far as all of these other companies go that provide various services like television and music and podcasts and movies and everything else that goes along with multimedia, in that they're the only company that really controls the entire widget. They control the services and they control the hardware that those services go through from start to finish. There is no middleman. It's Apple. It's Apple's hardware. It's Apple's software. The only thing that isn't Apple is the content. And naturally, the content is king. If you don't have content, it doesn't really matter how great your hardware is. It doesn't really matter how fast your services are or how loyal your customers may be. Eventually, they're going to get tired of looking at a blank screen or seeing somewhat anemic choices as far as content goes, and they're going to go find something else. So should should Apple, in cases like this, they get their 30% in the first year. And if they create a service that is all encompassing of not just, Netflix and Hulu and HBO and all the other ones, but also of iTunes, all of the content that you can purchase through iTunes. Should they be satisfied with that? Because there will be a charge to us as consumers if, and it's not a for sure thing. If Apple combines all of these services, then there will be a charge to us. Now they could also include. I saw something. I think Mac Rumors. There was some other site that was talking similar to this. What Gaz and I were talking about week and a half ago. In that this could also include things like their photo service and their cloud storage and so much else. How much would you be willing to pay to have a one-stop shop for all of your television, all of your music, all of your magazines, all of your cloud storage, as well as your phone and your computer and your little video box that connects to your TV, and potentially also things like smart home devices. How much is all that worth on a monthly basis? There are subscription services that I feel are worth it. If you need Microsoft Office, for example, their 365 subscription service is actually a pretty good deal. For $99 a year, you get 5 full licenses to 5 different computers and unlimited mobile devices. So if you have a phone and a tablet and a few other things, you could also put Microsoft Office on all of those as well and use them on a regular basis. Oh, hey, Daniel, what's going on, dude? So is it so far-fetched that Apple would be able to give a similar type service with all of the various pieces that they have going together with that? And and remember, you've also got things like Apple Pay that has turned out to be hugely successful. This is all bundled in when you go into Apple's ecosphere, for better or for worse, because you're definitely tied into one company for all these services, but at the same time, there's only one bill you have to pay. You don't have a separate bill for Netflix and Hulu and HBO and Showtime and all of the other content providers out there. Presumably, they get paid by Apple, and Apple in turn gets paid by us. So the fact that Netflix is trying to get around Apple's 15% for renewal on their subscriptions doesn't really surprise me. And I can't say that I don't blame them for trying. I guess the question is going to be, will Apple let them do it? Is Netflix actually big enough to push back against Apple if Apple was going to say, well, if you do this, then we're not, we're going to take your app off of the Apple TV, or we'll take your app out of the iOS store? Is this really a path that any of us want either Apple or Netflix to go down? So I guess we'll see what happens with this. So far, I haven't heard anything else about it as far as whether or not either company has blinked. David Ginsburg. And, oh, dude. That's it. See, I've got this one and I've got one more. So what I need to, it's been a hellish kind of, last week and this week has been kind of hellish. I will get this in the mail and I will get it to you. And I'm so sorry that the one I gave you before kind of died. All right. Moving on to the next story. Back to the Mac. to die in Mojave. This is another story from Mac Rumors. Back to the Mac support has been confirmed to be gone in the next version of Mojave. Apple would prefer that you use iCloud. Oh, sorry, excuse me. For most of the features that Back to the Mac offered, the big difference between them, besides complexity, is that Back to the Mac was free, while iCloud is not. So a lot of the services that you get with Back to the Mac, screen sharing and things along those lines, there are other solutions to them. So the fact that Back to the Mac is a little bit harder to use than some of those other features was probably a good indication of why Apple has decided to drop those features and actually just drop the entire service itself in favor of something else. I honestly can't remember the last time I've used any of the Back to the Mac. Thank you, Frank. He said, bless you, sir. I can't remember the last time I used any of the Back to the Mac features. So the fact that it's going to go away, I guess, doesn't really matter that much to me. But there are a lot of people who don't mind the complexity. If with it being a free service, it wasn't that hard for them to figure it out. Okay, if there's anything that you guys want to talk about, I mean, I do have two more stories. And I will get to those after the ad. But before we go to that, let's see. Who do we got? Everybody sound off here. We've got Frank. We've got David. And I don't know who else. Who else do we have? Let's see. It doesn't really, that's one thing I really wish that this would tell me. I can't see. Oh, wait, maybe I can. We got Frank. We got Marcus. We have David. And I guess that's it at the moment. How sad. And Patrick. Hello, Patrick. It is so nice to see you. I really, really appreciate the fact that you guys have taken the time on a Wednesday night to come and join me here for the craziness and the insanity that is the Mac to the Future show, the show that every single week is different because sometimes I really have to wonder if I know what the hell I'm doing. I think we all know the answer there. We're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about an Apple store that got hit by snatchers and whether or not the Mac Mini is finally going to get updated. So everybody hold on, and we will be right back. Are you a new Mac user or an old hand? Wish you could know the ins and outs, keyboard shortcuts, or hidden tips and tricks to make you more efficient using your favorite computer? Hey, it's your lucky day, because Edward Eisen has written a great guide to knowing more about the Mac and the OS that it runs on. It's called This is the Light Side, and it's available through Apple's iBookstore or with Amazon. Better yet, it's not a stuffy old book that gathers dust on the shelf once the next operating system is released, because it's an ebook that you can look at any time you want. It won't get outdated because it's continuously being updated. Information on setting up your new Mac, installing and getting rid of applications, security settings and what to look out for, keyboard shortcuts, some basic app recommendations, how to use Windows on your Mac, if you really want to, that is, advanced topics, searching, using iCloud, and much more. All this for a mere 99 cents. Go to the iBookstore or Amazon and check out Edward Eisen's This is the Light Side. It's the book you want on your virtual shelf. And welcome back, everybody. How are you today? Um, Another story. Go ahead and hit those buttons there. I want to see this. See if this count will go up or down. I'm kind of curious about it. Something I just implemented today. It was in the latest version of Mimo Live. And the one thing I really, really wish that I could get it to do is comments. I can't get comments working on this thing. And I don't know if it's a problem with Boink software or if it's a problem with Facebook. I know that there was a short period of time where nobody could use comments in Facebook. That was a real issue. But so far, this is about all I can do is have these weird little symbols show up on the bottom of the screen. All right, this is a story out of Cult of Mac. Let me go ahead and hit that button so you all can see that story, and I will take off the Facebook reactions. Now, Apple's official policy for people that when these guys come in and start snatching stuff off the tables, Apple's official policy is for the employees not to engage with thieves who come in and grab as much as they can and run out. Apparently, that policy does not apply to customers who grab 2 out of 3 crooks, allegedly. While police grabbed the third one and 2 others charged as accomplices outside the mall. This store that was in the Thousand Oaks Mall was one of the latest victims of these types of crimes. Police figure the same thieves probably are responsible for many others as well, which may put a damper on Apple Store snatchers for a while. Now, I've seen video of these guys that come in, and it looks, honestly, when they come in to do this, it looks pretty easy. It should be relatively easy to spot. They always seem to come in, they're wearing hoodies, they've got great big bags that are with them, and they basically just kind of split up as soon as they come into the store and then just grab all the stuff that they can and then head back out. And the thing that's really nuts about it is, in order to combat this, one of the things that Apple has done has been to make it so the machines that they have live out onto the floor are pretty much useless as computers. There's software built into them that just make them not work the way that you would expect them to. So they're really pretty much only good for parts, which, granted can be quite lucrative if you're able to break them down and sell them as parts. Or if you can get really, really gullible people who are, thinking that they're getting this great bargain on a fully functional Mac when it's a store model that's not going to do what they expect it to. But I think it's great that some people actually grabbed these guys and held them down for police, and that all these other people got busted as well. We live in a society these days that just seems to favor instant gratification over working toward a goal to get something that it is that you want. And and just throw in the general scumminess that so many people are these days, that I don't know. I'm glad these guys got busted, and I hope that that whatever sentence they get, and chances are it won't be that severe, seeing how it's in California. But maybe they won't do it again. I don't know. All right, last story for the evening is the Mac Mini finally going to get updated. This is a story that I saw in macstories.net, which is a site I haven't heard of before. Let's see. What do we got? Oh, you know what? I didn't put in... Okay, you know what? I didn't put anything in here as far as the actual... God, sometimes... No, and this isn't it either. I've got the wrong link. Okay. never mind. Never mind. This story. I'm hoping that wow, talk about train wreck. Did I ever meet up with Warren? Yes, we actually. Yeah, let me talk about that since this story is a train wreck gone wrong. We were actually only about 2 blocks away from each other when he saw something I posted on Facebook in relation to, I guess, a moonrise shot that I put up there. And he asked where I was, and I told him I was in Belmar, something like that, like right there on the Jersey Shore, and that our hotel was right off of 10th Ave, and his house that he and his wife have was right there in 8th Ave. So we were like 2 blocks apart. So the next day, this was on Sunday, my wife and I met up with some friends whose daughter was getting married at the wedding that we were up there to attend. And when we got back from breakfast from that, I met with Warren. It was like this place that was directly across the street from the hotel I was staying at. And I mean, we just got an iced coffee and chatted a bit. There's actually, he posted a picture of the 2 of us. I did a quick selfie and got that up. So that was, it was, that was actually like the first, I mean, we've talked countless times here on Mac to the Future, and of course also in various other forums that go around. I've had him on, I believe I've had him on the My Mac show, but this was the first time we'd actually met in person, and I think he was surprised that I was as tall as I am. Yeah, people are usually surprised at how tall I am. Okay. So real quick, we're coming up to September. September, October is typically when Apple does a lot of updating of their hardware as well as their software. We're expecting, of course, to see macOS Mojave 10.14 coming out, as well as iOS 12, new iPhones of various shapes and sizes. We don't really know other than what the rumor sites have been telling us. And I can't stand rumors for the most part. But one of the rumors is that the Mac Mini is going to be updated. And I really, really hope that that's true. The machine is long in the tooth. And the thing about the Mac Mini, there's really no reason why it can't be a more powerful machine than the last rendition of it was. With Thunderbolt 3, you don't need to have a super powerful graphics card in there. If you need a super powerful graphics card, then you can easily connect it up via a separate cage using Thunderbolt 3. And a lot of the expansion that you would want to have for your computer could easily be done through Thunderbolt. So do you need a great big tower with, 10 sticks of RAM and multiple hard drives? I don't think you do. I think pretty much everything that a Mac Mini, or really almost any Mac these days, needs as far as expansion goes, can be handled through Thunderbolt. I'm not really as concerned about expansion on Mac computers now than I was 5-6 years ago, when really the only path to upgrade was internal. Let's see. Mike, hello from Apple Insider. It is, holy crap, look at all the likes. Let me turn that back on. Nope, it's still only showing 1. So I don't know. Hey, Mike Lacey is here, everybody. OWC has a Thunderbolt 3 chassis. Yes, they do. Mojave. Sound like a cow. Hey. All right. If you would like to comment on some of the crazy things that I do, all you have to do is send me an email, guy@mttfgo.com. Of course, I can also be reached on the Twitters, where my handle there is MacParrot. And we have a Skype telephone number. Damn it, call the Skype telephone number, 703-436-9501. Leave a message and we'll play it here on the show. probably, if I can figure it out. If you would like to help me with all the stuff that I do, then all you have to do is go to these two sites that you see here on your screen. Let me get rid of that. And that is ko-fi.com or coffee.com MacParrot or patreon.com/MacParrot. There's some great ways that you can help me offset the cost of all the stuff that I'm doing. And, you know, anything is appreciated. A one-time gift, if you want to become a regular patron, that's fine too. I really, really would appreciate it. I'm trying to think of some ways that I can make exclusive content for people who donate through Ko-fi or Coffee and Patreon, and any suggestions you guys have. You know, I would say outtakes, but honestly, sometimes this show is such a train wreck that you don't really need the outtakes. I do on occasion come back on while I'm waiting for this to render. Ooh, got something in my eye. And while I'm waiting for this to render, I will sit there with iTunes and play some songs and sing and dance and do all kinds of crazy things because, yeah, I'm kind of weird that way. I appreciate the fact that you guys have all come on to join me here tonight. Hopefully Warren will be back on next week. Tried to get a few other people to come on, but they weren't able to do it. And that's okay. You know, none of us are going to get rich doing things like this show. This is something that we do because we enjoy doing it. And that's really the point. You know, if you're going to do something like this, don't expect to make a lot of money at it. Just do it because you love doing it. And I do love doing this. Thank you all for watching this evening. I really, really do appreciate it. And I will catch you next time on the Mac to the Future podcast, live cast. God, I can't even get the ending right.